Good evening. My name is Carla Campbell Webster. I am the daughter of Estella. I'm the granddaughter of Estella Campbell and the daughter of Odessa Dyer. Ruby and my mother are first cousins. And this is Wayne, which is
Wayne Sanders, son of Dan Sanders, and we used to have them up to the house all the time. I don't see how they made up to the house as much as they did. But I appreciate them coming up. They used to call Dad Uncle Dan, and they just had a great time in the Lord talking. And I'm just glad to hear that everyone coming up here speaking have God on their mind.
Amen. And I'd just like to say that coming here today is a wonderful day. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen put together by a family. And when you're doing it, you're getting your flowers while they are alive, and that's when we need them, so we can smell it. The other people back there at the table are also relatives of Group Dale. We're all family, and I call him Ferris. I've always called him Ferris, and Mr. Ferris, but Ferris is what I always call him. And he was always just as related to me as he was by blood. But we love them, and we are proud to be part of this family. And we just, to look at him, you say he is a giant, yes he is. And she, queen. And I'm just glad to say that I am part of this wonderful family.
Amen.
I am Nettie Alexander. I don't need the mic. I'm just going to say a word or two here. I didn't know Ferris when I was a little girl. I think I was in my teenage, my sister and I. We had heard about them, but we didn't know anything about them. But then, for some strange idea, Sonny, we call him Sonny, his dad, Billy, which was Ferris's brother, they decided to come from Lawton to see us. And we got to know them. And we were glad that we had some more Alexanders. And we were glad that we had Rubydale. And so it was a joy. So every Christmas or every holiday, they would come and we would go from house to house to eat. We'd go to his mother's house to eat. We'd go to our mother's house to eat, and his mother's daddy, on the daddy's side, and on his mother's side, we just go from house to house. And I never would forget Sonny's mother, because she would eat so much at all the houses, she'd have to go to the bathroom and lift it up so she could have space to eat at somebody else's house. But that's just the way that we were. And we all just had an enjoyable time. We had an enjoyable time. So it's a joy, Ruby, and it's a joy, Ferris. This is my brother. I consider him as a brother, and I'm his little sister. So happy anniversary to you, and many, many more.
I want to thank Kelvin Anderson for preparing all the meat that we had today. So we want to give Kelvin a hand clap. He worked really, really hard.
Oh, they got all mine.
Good hand clap again. Thank you, Kelvin. Anybody else want to come up and get some remarks? The floor is open.
Rudell and I are first cousins. And I just want to congratulate them on a wonderful anniversary. Being together for those many years, have such a lovely family, that is a blessing from God. And may God continually bless you.
You know, it's a dangerous thing to give a preacher a microphone when he's not in church. He can go on and on and on. But what I want to do, what the main thing I want to do, is to recognize not only my uncle and auntie, but I want to recognize their children. The children who thought enough of their parents to put this type of an affair together, to recognize the wonderful, wonderful job that their father and mother did as they grew up. As someone has already said, they instilled in their offsprings and their offspring's offspring the fear of the Lord. And although I personally am aware of some of the problems the family had, none of those problems deterred their effort to raise their children up in the admonition of the Lord. The kids that I was around most of, they were much younger than I was, but they revered their mother and their fathers. And Riverdale, as everyone has noted, was a tremendous domino player. And as someone also mentioned, she had a sleight of hand. And she passed it on to those she cared about, particularly those who were her partners. But she could keep you up all night long playing dominoes and laughing all the time she beat the living daylights out of you. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing that these children have done for their parents. And I want to take my hat off. Would all of the children please stand and come forward so we can see you? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Come on.
Go down, Richard. Come on. Where Tommy go? Oh, you went on? Oh, okay.
But these are the children that initiate this. Now, they had a lot of help.
You're missing one, a couple of them.
Their friends came together and helped them, but they are the ones that put it together. And these are the ones that I love, have always loved, haven't been around them much, but we work together as a family. So let's give them a big hand, please.
Oh, y'all be still now. Hold on. I ain't through.
Come from behind that thing.
Y'all come in front,
Yeah, in front of the podium.
please.
Please. In front of the podium.
Please.
Hey, no, excuse me. Hey, hey, can y'all do us a favor, please?
We can do this later.
No, can y'all go over by Janet, by Lois?
Let's take pictures later. Let Sonny finish.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you all very much. But before I sit down, I just want to remind all of you of this one fact. Every day is not going to be a bed of roses. And we should all remember that it takes fire to purify gold. So when you have your trials and your tribulations, just remember this day. All the kids have been through all these things, yet they still remain loyal to their grandparents and parents. because they, in spite of all of the heartache, all of the trials, all the tribulations, kept this family together. Now each one wants to be better than the next. And that's what it takes. Getting through the fire to refine your lifestyles. So as we go to our seat, Auntie, thank you for the wonderful job you've done with all of the children and all of your grandchildren. We're all thankful and grateful for the dedication to our lives.
I'm going to ask Linda Miller to come up and speak on behalf of the family.
I like a dress. Yes, I like a dress.
You all know I'm the baby of the family, and I'm a big baby, and I'm gonna start crying, so I'm not gonna say much. But I appreciate everybody for coming out here. I ain't a baby. I appreciate every last one of you all for coming out here. I sent a text to all my family, and I told them that you should give people their flowers while they're living. And I stand strong on that, because I don't want flowers when I'm dead. I can have a funeral with no flowers. I'm cool with that. But we all need to start giving people their flowers while they're living. And when I text them, I let them know my parents are still living. And I wanted everybody to show up for my parents. Because to all my nieces and nephews, to all my siblings, we have really had real parents. Our parents have been there for us. I mean, I know there are so many people that have parents that are there for them, and you should treasure that, appreciate that, and I do appreciate them. They have been the best parents that I think that I could ever ask for. And as all the kids say, you know, if you would try to raise your kids like my mom and dad raised us, your kid's gonna be okay. Your kid's gonna be okay. Now, if you choose to go out there and do something different, that's on you. But they raised us right. And on behalf of the Alexanders, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate every last one of you all. Y'all be blessed. Okay, now guys, what we're trying to do right quick is, before everybody try to leave, what we want to do is we're going to play some bingo. Yeah! And we have guests, so we're trying to clear the tables. Y'all help us out a little bit. We're going to clear your tables. We're going to play bingo.